My hands went numb before I even said it. We were at his company barbecue, his boss grilling burgers, his coworkers laughing, and I just said it out loud. I think we should break up. His face went white. Someone dropped a beer bottle. I heard it shatter, but it felt far away, like background noise in a movie. Here? Now? He whispered. And I nodded, because I'd been carrying it for 6 months, and if I didn't say it right then, surrounded by strangers and the smell of burnt meat, I'd swallow it again for another year. Was it cruel? Absolutely. But I'd tried to bring it up 4 times before, at dinner, in the car, during a walk, and every time he'd kiss my forehead and say, "Let's talk later." Later never came. So I made later happen, in front of his entire office. He told me I humiliated him. He was right, but I was finally free. I bought a one-way ticket to Portugal. He found out because I forgot to log out of my email on our shared laptop. He opened it that morning, saw the confirmation, and just stared at me over his coffee. "Portugal," he said flatly. "Portugal," I confirmed. "When were you planning to tell me?" I shrugged. Honest to God, I shrugged. When I got to the airport, probably. The thing is, I'd been rehearsing the talk for weeks. I had notes, bullet points, but every time I looked at him, sitting there in his ancient basketball shorts, scrolling his phone, I just couldn't. The words felt too heavy. So I skipped the words entirely and booked a flight instead. He called me a coward. Maybe I was, but I also haven't regretted it once. 3 months later, he texted, "Did you ever actually love me?" I left him on red. Some questions don't deserve answers. I changed my relationship status on Facebook while he was in the shower. I know. But here's the thing. We'd been taking a break for 2 months, and he kept telling people we were figuring things out. His mom still texted me recipe ideas. His friends invited me to game night. I wasn't figuring anything out. I was done. So one night, wine in hand, I clicked the button. Then I turned off my phone and went to bed. He found out from his cousin. Apparently, she commented, "Finally," with 3 fire emojis. He showed up at my apartment at 11 p.m., pounding on the door. "You ended us on Facebook?" I said through the chain lock. "Someone had to." My stomach hurt the whole time. Not guilt, just adrenaline, I think. Or maybe relief. Hard to tell the difference. I told him during sex. Not during, after. Right after. We were lying there, and he was doing that thing where he strokes my hair and stares at the ceiling, and I just said it. "I don't think I'm in love with you anymore." His hand froze mid-stroke. "What?" "I don't love you. I haven't for a while." He sat up so fast the bed creaked. "You're telling me this now?" I didn't plan it. I swear I didn't. But I'd been faking the intimacy for months, and lying there in the dark pretending to feel something I didn't, it just broke me. "I'm sorry," I whispered. But I wasn't. Not really. He left that night, took his toothbrush, his phone charger, his hoodie I always wore. I watched him pack in silence, my heartbeat weirdly steady. The apartment felt bigger after he left. In a good way. I ghosted him. Completely. We'd been together 2 years. 2 years. And I just stopped responding. Stopped answering texts, stopped picking up calls, blocked him on Instagram, WhatsApp, everything. Was it mature? No. Was it fair? Absolutely not. But I'd tried breaking up with him 3 times before, and every time he'd cry and promise to change and beg for one more chance. and I'd cave every single time. So I stopped giving him chances to manipulate me into staying. His friends called me heartless, his sister showed up at my work and called me worse, but you know what? I didn't go back, and that's the only thing I'm proud of. 6 months later, I saw him at a coffee shop. My hands started shaking before I even walked in, but I ordered my latte, nodded politely, and left. He looked smaller than I remembered. I told him I was gay. I'm not. I'm bisexual, and I'd known that the whole time we were together. But he'd always made weird jokes about it. Don't leave me for a woman, haha. And I was just so tired. So when he asked why I seemed distant, I looked him dead in the eye and said, I think I'm only attracted to women now. The relief on my face must have been obvious because he believed me instantly. Oh, he said. Oh. And that was it. He packed his stuff, hugged me awkwardly, and left. Did I feel guilty? Yes, for about 2 days. Then I felt free. I'm not proud of lying, but I'm also not proud of the fact that the truth, you bore me and I've been pretending for 8 months, felt crueler than a convenient fiction. I told him via a Google Doc. Yes, a shared Google Doc. We'd been long distance for a year, and we used to write each other these long, romantic letters in a shared doc. It was our thing. So I wrote him one last letter, titled it, I'm sorry, and I laid it all out. Every reason, every moment I knew it was over, every time I'd faked enthusiasm on FaceTime. Then I hit share and turned off my notifications. He called 47 times. 47. I didn't answer any of them. My best friend said I was cold. Maybe, but I'd spent a year being warm and it got me nowhere except miserable and obligated. The doc is still there. I checked once. He'd written a single sentence at the bottom. You could have just called. He was right, but I didn't want to hear him cry. I brought my new boyfriend to his birthday party. Okay, new boyfriend is generous. It was a guy I'd been seeing for 2 weeks, but I was so desperate to force the breakup that I just did it. Walked into the bar, holding someone else's hand, and watched his face crumble in real time. His friends looked horrified. His sister actually gasped. Can we talk? He said, voice shaking. There's nothing to talk about, I said, and I meant it. I'd tried breaking up with him a month earlier, and he'd convinced me we could work through it. But I didn't want to work through it. I wanted out. So I made it impossible for him to ignore. Was it cruel? Yes. Was it effective? Also yes. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is be unkind enough that they finally let you go. I left a Post-it note on the fridge. I can't do this anymore. I'm staying at Sarah's. Please don't contact me. That's it. That's all I wrote. 4 years together, and I ended it with a 3x3-inch neon yellow square. He called it cowardly. He called me worse. But I'd spent 4 years trying to make him hear me. 4 years of we need to talk, turning into let's talk tomorrow. 4 years of my needs getting postponed. So I stopped asking for his attention and just left. The note stayed on the fridge for a week, apparently. His roommate told me. He just stared at it every morning like it might change. It didn't. I didn't either. I told him during his mom's funeral. I'm not a monster. I waited until after the service. We were in the car, driving back to his parents' house, and he was crying silently, staring out the window, and I just couldn't hold it anymore. I don't think we should be together anymore. He turned to me, face wet with tears. Now? You're doing this now? I felt my throat close up. My hands were freezing. I'm sorry. I can't keep pretending." He didn't yell. He just looked at me like I was a stranger. "Get out of the car," he said quietly. I did. I stood on the side of the road watching him drive away and felt nothing but relief. His sister called me evil. Maybe I was, but I'd been dying inside for so long that even his grief couldn't make me stay. If you've ever struggled to say the words, "I'm done," you're not alone. Sometimes the ending is messy. Sometimes it's brutal. Sometimes it's both. But staying when you're already gone? That's the cruelest thing of all. If these stories hit too close to home, or if you've got your own brutal breakup story, drop it in the comments. You're not alone in the mess.